Hello, nice to meet you. Good to make your acquaintance. My name's Andrew Prowse and I'm the creator of Rogue Artist Creations Limited, a small company hoping to bring you amazing games that you love to play. We're also going to be doing some reviews called Rogue Reviews. So this is the first video of our brand new series. We hope that this will help you just learn a little bit more about us, find out about some amazing games, maybe even inspire you to buy some yourself and play some with great people that you care about. Ultimately, this is supposed to be a bit of fun and really help you enjoy yourself and learn a bit more about the hobby. So, let's begin. Now, where to begin? Let me think. Where to begin? How about here? This is a little game called Top Hats and Treachery, created by, well, yes, me. So this is a beautiful little game, originally designed through having to teach Year 6s, that's 10 and 11-year-olds to you, how to learn all about the amazing Victorian era. This evolved over about 7 years into a brilliant little game that people love to play, had lots of fun together. It featured high-class snobbery, it featured intrigue, backstabbing, lots of laughs, lots of good fun, fantastic Victorian characters, and ultimately, really fun gaming experiences. So what's it all about really then? Well, the idea is you run your own prestigious hotel in Victorian times in good old London town. Sounds fine so far? Great, good. Well, the issue is that you have a few guests staying in your hotel. You might have upper class, lords, ladies, counts, duchesses, that kind of thing. These are the cream of society. You want them in your hotel. They will bring you fame and fortune and raise your reputation. Now, what if you're not quite so lucky there? Well, you could have middle-class people. These are, for example, doctors. They are, for example, nurses, artists, professionals, inventors. These kind of people who have worthy jobs, contribute to society, and ultimately bring in a bit of income, and you want to be quite like them as well. Okay, so it's not too bad, all right. So we've got upper class, we've got middle class. What happens if things go wrong? Well, unfortunately, we've got to let in some people to fill the rooms, so we have the lower class. Now, the lower class are the poor, the criminal scumbags, all the kind of people that you don't want in your establishment. The poorer people, the servants. Well, they prop up society, yes they do, but ultimately they won't bring you fame and riches. So if you can upgrade them, or get rid of them, or replace them with better people, then that's good fun. So, how does this work? The idea basically is that you have your own hotel. You have your characters. These gain positions of authority. You play the game for, if you're having a quick round, 10 rounds. If you're having a longer game, maybe just 2 people, 15 rounds. A quick game will take about 15 minutes. For 2 people, about 10 minutes. A longer round, 4 or 5 people, up to about 45 minutes. Maybe a really massively long one, an hour, but most times it's quite a quick game. The idea is, you have your wonderful hotel. You have your guests. For example, we have Lucy Appalachia. She dreams of being a singer. She's noble, she's rich, she's worth 4 points. You could have Crown Prince Kreitz, who is much feared. He's worth a mighty 7 points. Let's imagine who else we've got. We've got Benjamin Disraeli, a real character. Some of these are actually real characters based on real Victorian times. If it says real person, then guess what? Yes, it's a real person. So, Prime Minister who declared Victoria Empress of India, 7 points, very important. Okay, let's look at some of the middle class people. We have Mary Ann Evans. She was also better known as George Eliot, a real writer, okay? Vivian Quincy, an amateur detective. Who knows what secrets she'll uncover? Felix King, champion of the boxing ring. Maybe somebody else. Charles Dickens. I don't know why. Nobody quite knows why, but I love to pick on Charles Dickens. I've never quite explained it, but still, it's good fun. Okay, who else? Now, okay, who have we got one? Jack Yeats, a first footman, very suave. Harfang, a boatkeeper whose legs were eaten by eels. How unfortunate. Still, mustn't grumble. Who else have we got? Ralph Marks, a confidence trickster. He is a criminal. Criminals have minus scores. You really don't want them in your hotel. So, the idea is at the beginning of the game, everyone is given one person at random. So you're given one upper class, one middle class, and one lower class, and these form your guests for the hotel. Great, fine, good starting point. What next? Well, here is where the game really begins. You have a hand of rumour cards. These rumour cards are basically gossip that you spread about your guests and other people's guests. Now, they come in 3 main types. The first one is basically a twist of fate. These give positive ideas that you can put on your own characters. For example, I hear Benjamin Disraeli always has very good manners. He's very polite. He's worth an extra +2 points. He was 7 points. Guess what? He's worth 9 points now. Nice. Okay. However, these cards have a negative side as well. For example, false eye. Now, your friend over here is sitting down with, let's have a look. Oh, why not? Charles Dickens. Now, did you know that Charles Dickens actually has a false eye? He takes out and shows to people at parties. How disgraceful. It's worth a -2 points. So he was worth 4 points. Now he's worth only 2. What a shame. Okay. So after the Twist of Fate cards, you have shenanigans cards. Now these kind of bend the rules a little bit. The idea is that, for example, they can make more guests come along. You can steal guests. You can swap guests. You can swap cards around. The idea is that this changes the pattern of points in the game. So when one person's got lots and lots of points, next turn you could swap them around and you have a bit of exchange. Now, I heard you say 3 types of cards. What's the last type? Well, Victorian society is kind of notorious for being short-lived, shall we say. And of course, you only do want the best people in your hotel. So we have Grim Reaper cards. Grim Reaper cards are very useful. I'm sure you can guess what they do. Yes, that's right. They kill off guests. So, for example, if you have our old friend Ralph Marx, who's basically muddying up your hotel with his -points, you might want to get rid of him. So, unfortunately, criminals only. You are transported to Australia for your crimes, where you are quickly eaten by crocodiles. Or alternatively, somebody else in another person's hotel is doing really, really well. Remember Benjamin Disraeli? He's worth 9 points now. We can't have that. That person's going to win the game. So what could we do about it? Well, we have to find one, upper class only. While stuffing your face at your latest feast, you choke on a chicken bone and die. Sorry. The good news is that basically when you have an empty room in your hotel, all rooms must be filled. Now, it's obviously easy to get people off the streets. We could just accept another lower class person for free. That's fine, I suppose, but it won't give you very many points. Plus, it allows the possibility of allowing criminals into your hotel. You do not want this. So, what could you do? You have your hand of cards of rumour cards. If you wish to, you could discard one of your cards that's reducing your hand size by 1 temporarily. And you can get a middle-class person instead. Why, it's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle! That's much better. Alternatively, if you want to really aim for the higher points, you could discard 2 cards for your hand. Kind of a penalty, but ultimately in the long run, it's worth it. And you could basically take an upper-class card instead. These are obviously worth more points. The lower class ones can range from about -4 up to about +3. The middle class range runs about 3 to 5, and the upper class range from 4 to 7. So you can already see where the advantage is. Now, each turn you play a card and you draw a card, and you keep the turn going around. And at the end of 10 rounds, you count up all the points and see who has won. Here you can see a bit more detail about the game itself. For example, here are 2 players. This is one player, they've got their upper class, middle class and lower class characters. And this is the other player, they've got their upper class, middle class and lower class characters. There's already been some cards played. For example, you can have multiple different cards played on the same character of different types. You put the positive cards above your character card, showing, and the negative cards below your character card, showing. And at the end of the game, that person's totaled up. So for example, Benjamin Disraeli starts at 7 points, plus 3 is 10, minus 2 is 8. He's worth 8 points all by himself. Rather fantastic. Unfortunately, Connie Shaz here, the murderer, is rather too handy with a knife. Now, she started off at -4, and unfortunately this kind person played the "You're a Crook" card on her, which put her down to a mighty -6. So, if this player happens to have a suitable card in their hand, they might want to do something about it and get rid of her. If they get rid of her, for example, that leaves an empty room in the hotel, and as we know, all rooms must be filled. Now, the 3 decks of character cards will be here, available to be used during the game. Now, you don't know who's next in the list, so it's a bit of a gamble who you get. So as I said, for example, this person could risk just taking the next lower class card. Let's see who it was. Morgan Henhouse, another criminal, not a good choice. However, if they're a little bit wiser, from their hand, which would have in set of 5 cards. So say, for example, this is their hand. They might look to see what they're not really using very, very much. Lower class only. I want to get rid of the lower class card. So I'm going to discard this card. And I'm going to choose instead a middle class person. Let's see if he can beat -1. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. I think so. Although this might cause problems with Mr. Nikola Tesla over there. A bit of rivalry going on there between Edison and Tesla. Still, this person's now got 1 upper class and 2 middle class in their hotel. This is looking better. Fantastic. So on that's their turn done. Now this person have responded to their wonderful good fortune. They might want to do something about it. So from their hand, they might basically try to choose a card to play. Now they can't play a servant card because they haven't got any servants, and neither has people, so that card's no good for a moment. They could play no tax today or robbed. So we could make, let's have a look. Crown Prince Crowns, because everyone's so scared of him, doesn't pay any tax because everyone's too terrified to collect it. So he's worth another 2 points. They then draw up from the rumour deck, and it's their end of their turn. And that's how the game goes on. So, how do you like this game? It's fun, it's fast, it's silly. The idea is you're telling ridiculous stories. For example, did you know that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle cheats at cards? Did you know that, for example, who have we got here? Vivian Quincy has been vouched for by the Queen. She's under the Queen's own protection. You can have people with desperate love letters come to action. You can basically have people who invent inventions that explode. You can have lots and lots of fun. Now, yes, this has a little bit of element of take that, but not too much. It's all done very, very charmingly in good humour. So the idea is you're not going to lose friends over this game. You're going to have a bit of fun, a bit of laugh for 15, 20, 35 minutes, and then you could play another game, you could play something else. And that's another good thing about this game. It won't take up the whole of your evening. You know the type of games, the kind of games that basically fill the entire table and take 3.5 hours to play. Well, yeah, that's great. But to get people settled and comfy and chatting and relaxed, you want a little game. Now this game is perfect for that. All you do is you basically bring up this, you play for 15 minutes. Maybe you're waiting for a few people to arrive for your game evening. Maybe you're waiting on a few more people to come around. Maybe you're connecting a Zoom or a Discord meeting, however you're sorting it out at the moment. The point is that this is kind of like a lovely little icebreaker. It's relaxing, it's chatty, it's friendly, it's fun. Now, I think this is a brilliant game. In all the years I've spent playing this, designing this, taking this to events like the UK Games Expo, Aircon, Grassington Dickensian Festival, all over the place, I've played this over 400 times and I still enjoy it every single time. So this has well earned a place on our gaming shelf and we bring it out quite a lot. There's also all sorts of extra components that I made. The actual game itself comes with a bonus pack of extra Victorian doctors and diseases you can add to the game. For example, you could have Dr. Julian Washing Bucket to add to your hotel. Or alternatively, you could have smallpox infecting on your opponent's people. You could basically have Dr. Archie Titcheven. You could have Dr. KB Russell. You could have Erasmus Keys, who's an army surgeon trying hard not to laugh at your ridiculous malady. Alternatively, you could give people tetanus. It's that kind of thing. There are more expansion packs as well. For example, we have our foreign cousins. We have American, Australian people. We have our Halcyon Days, students that have variable scores. We have the obligatory Cthulhu expansion called the Greenwich Horror. We have Bedlam Bound, which is basically Escape from the Victorian Asylum. We have all kinds of ridiculous things. So ultimately, there are about 7 extra expansion packs in that if you go for the deluxe mode of the game, you can get as well. Plus, as well, when this was at Kickstarter, I said that every single backer who gave me some ideas, I would make them their own card. Well, that happened. So as well as the 108 cards that were in the game, I made 196 more and 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 more. And I even actually give this to people as like a PDF print and play expansion pack that people can have. And there's loads more really. I mean, the idea basically is that this game can be for everybody. I've put so much extra detail into it. There is so much replayability in it. And I must say, one of the best compliments that someone's ever paid to me is that I put this in Kickstarter in 2016-17, and basically, you know what Kickstarter's like. You see people have the games, buy the games, and then 2 or 3 months later, they're popping up on Facebook's groups, basically like, you can buy this, I've had it once, I haven't played it. Well, in 2.5, 3 years, I have not seen 1 copy of Top Hats and Treachery out for sale on one of the Facebook groups. The idea basically is that people who own this game play this game, and people have come up to me at conventions going like, you're the guy who made Top Hats and Treachery, aren't you? Yeah, I am. I still play that game. We still laugh about it. And for me, that is such a compliment. The idea is this game was made with love. This is a game that you'll enjoy and have fun. So please, if you fancy a copy, copies are available in various shops such as Travelling Man, there's Stripey Badger, there's Games Crusade. They're all over the place. Zatu Games have got some. So the game's still available if you'd like a copy. If you want to get in contact with me, please contact us via rogueartistcreations.com. You can find us at Facebook at Rogue Artist Creations or at Twitter on Rogue A Creations. You can also email me at gmfirst@rogueartistcreations.com. This has basically been Rogue Reviews #1, Top Hats and Treachery. So the idea is over the next few weeks and months, we'll have lots more games to look through together. The idea is they can be resource management games, card games, dice games, all sorts of things. So there'll be reviews from myself, but also there'll basically be scores and opinions from my wife, my kids. So maybe you're looking for a particular type of game. Maybe some games are for you, some games aren't for you. I'm going to be asking multiple people's different opinions. Hopefully you'll get a nice rounded picture of what you might like to play. Maybe you end up picking up some games, maybe you end up watching them reviews, maybe you just have some fun finding out more about them. So the idea is, please join in, please share this video, please be part of this adventure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.